Hello community, welcome to a new story titled, I am divorcing my husband of 10 years and destroyed my marriage with a ridiculous comment and a one-night stand. Well, let's get started, and don't forget to stay tuned for new stories and updates. First story was from the wife and days later second story from the husband who finds the story and publishes his side of it. I am divorcing my husband of 10 years. My husband and I met when I was 18. It had always been just me and my best friend, but when my husband came along we became an inseparable trio. For me it was love at first sight. I had the biggest crush on him but didn't want to ruin the friendship thing we had, so I kept it to myself until he confessed to me when we were 20. Things went fast and we got married when we were 22. My best friend got married too and we have all remained close. We had invited my best friend and her husband around for dinner and we were joking about the things we got up to, and my husband brought up how he had always had a crush on my best friend but then she got a boyfriend, so he settled for me instead. When I tell you my whole world just came crashing down. I realized my marriage of 10 years was him settling for second best. That I was never his first option. After that everything he did just started to annoy me. He just stopped being attractive to me anymore. We haven't slept together in 6 months because I feel so disgusted. I just want out. I feel like I've wasted my life. I'm disappointed in him and myself for believing I was the one he liked. Second edition, my husband knows about the divorce. I told my best friend and she told my husband. Then he comes home to tell me don't let it end here when we are all looking for a solution. I have never been so confused because the last 6 months I have been trying to ask him how he feels and what he meant by his comment and answering my questions, like literally to the point that I have been yelling in his face to just tell me nothing, and my friend has been encouraging me to talk to him but keeping her distance. I thought it was because she didn't like me. Apparently she just thinks we are perfect together and he doesn't want to lose what we have. What do we have? We are basically roommates who are in relationships at this point. I don't think I'm going to update this because I'm a little upset and angry. I'm going to stay at my mom's house or something. Update. Okay, so a pretty important update that I said I wouldn't do, but I'm not a man of my word and never said I was. Today I got a text from my best friend's husband asking where she was and I had no idea because I'm at my mom's. Can we guess where she is? She's at my house with my husband. What strange universe am I living in? Anyway, yeah, so I'm leaving and taking all my stuff with me. My mother will have to put up with me for a while. The divorce is definitely on. I'm going to therapy. Now comes the husband's version. I destroyed my marriage with a ridiculous comment and one-night stand. So I found my wife's post, I'm going to divorce my husband of 10 years. Someone made a video about it and that video got back to me. I would like to tell my side. When I met my wife I didn't really think much of her. She was funny, kind and a good friend, but I had no other interest. Her friend, Sarah, was gorgeous. She had long red hair and these soft freckles and long eyelashes. She was my dream girl, but she was not interested in me. I noticed my wife, Amber, was hanging out with me more, laughing at my jokes, listening to me, and it made me consider having more of a relationship with her. Sarah got a boyfriend about a year into us being friends and her interest in our friendship group dwindled. She hung out with us less and spent more time with her boyfriend, which left me and Amber alone a lot. I ended up giving up on Sarah and focusing on Amber. We started dating and got married. We kept our friendship with Sarah, but we focused on each other. In the back of my mind though, it always felt like I had missed out on something. My marriage was boring. Amber and I were basically friends and I was working hard to save for a house and she was working hard to save for future kids, so we were existing alongside each other, not actually together. So one day when we were at dinner I got jealous of Sarah and her husband, who seemed happy, and made the comment about settling for Amber. Amber shut down after that. She kept repeating the same questions over and over and it would make me so angry that I didn't want to answer. So I didn't. I guess that was my first bad move. Sarah messaged me after the dinner to check if I was okay and we kept messaging me. She was just reassuring me that I did nothing wrong and it would work out. Then I got a text saying Amber was planning to divorce me. So Sarah came over and we tried to stop her from leaving me, but it seemed to only make things worse. Sarah saw how distraught I was and stayed to comfort me, and we drank, and in a drunk ridiculous mistake we ended up sleeping together. Sarah confessed to her husband that we slept together and her husband told Amber. Now both our marriages are ruined. I regret it so much and I just wish I could take it all back. What did you think about this story? Also, do not forget to stay tuned for new stories and updates. Greetings. Best comments. 1. Her comments on her post included something like, now that I slept with her I got my treats and my marriage can go back to normal. Why? She should apologize to me. Random user, why she should apologize? Because our marriage was boring. 2. My best friend has been with her husband since we were 16, so I also know him quite well at this point. I could never imagine myself ever seriously having relationships with him or flirting with him, like he feels like my genuine little brother at this point. How embarrassing that Sarah didn't feel the same way. 3. That really reminds me of an ex-friend I had whose name really was Sarah. The only people she was ever truly attracted to were guys that were obsessed with her, and only once they said they were over her and in committed relationships. As if she keeps the sad, pathetic boys in love while she never has any kind of romantic feelings for them. Then when they moved on and were in relationships, suddenly she'd be overcome with emotion and had to sleep with him right then and there. She never recognized the pattern though, and thought it was all just a cruel joke of fate that she would like someone when they were over her. She straight up did this to a guy and then had an affair with him for months, that she initiated when he said he was over her and in a committed relationship. Then she tortured him for a while, saying she was going to tell his girlfriend. Then she actually told his girlfriend and she said, I could not live with the guilt of what he was doing to her. All of this she told me as if she thought I would think she was the victim here. She told me how toxic he was and she just had to cut him out of her life after that. It's like, I'm sure he isn't great, because he did cheat and all, but you straight up ruined this man's life for funsies. 4. There was a similar story here a few weeks ago about a husband who announced to his entire family that he had settled for his wife and at first found her repulsive before falling in love with her, and, surprise surprise, that made the wife fall out of love with him. Why do people think it's a cute joke to say, at first I thought I could do much better, but in the end I stuck with plan B. 5. I would say a huge percentage of marriages are just that. Our society gives people unrealistic expectations. So many people think they can do much better than what they're actually dating. Then inevitably one of these relationships sticks and it's like, okay, I'll settle for this. We literally call it settling down. I'm surprised people don't know it's a thing. 6. Of course the feeling is a thing, but it's something else entirely to announce it in front of the friend who was crushed on and her spouse, ensuring that your wife has been humiliated in front of two people who have now been put in an extremely awkward situation themselves. There's a huge difference between doing that and privately telling your wife, this is silly but I used to have a crush on your friend and realized that we were better suited instead. No one publicly says they settled for their spouse unless they're trying to get under someone's skin. 7. Why would Sarah drink? Because both of you wanted to use the alcohol as the gateway to sleeping with each other. Sarah wasn't interested in you and all of a sudden needed to comfort you. You both do deserve each other now. Both of you are equal sewer trash. Turn the tables, and if your wife was the one who settled for you, then purposefully got drunk with her dream man to get the one-night stand. It wasn't just a comment, it's one with context that you're purposely hurt someone with. It's not that you didn't think about what you said and when you said. You wanted out of your marriage and that thought this was the best way to do it. Never should have played with Amber like that and married her. No need for enemies with friends like you to do the shameful betrayal yourselves. This will come back to bite you for a lifetime. 8. No need for enemies with friends like you to do the shameful betrayal yourselves. This will come back to bite you for a lifetime. This is so true. I had a similar situation happen to me, and my ex-husband and his new wife, my childhood friend, are reaping what they sowed. While I am finally enjoying the life I was supposed to have, Amber will find her true happiness elsewhere. I hope she cuts out these two POSs for life. Thankfully they had no children together. Amber, if you are reading this, I want you to know that you are worthy and you are enough. The man that is truly meant for you will love you like you have always deserved. Take a moment to process your emotions, but then stand tall, adjust your crown, and keep moving. You got this, girl. 9. What a story. Mine has some similarities with yours, but he tried to hold on to someone who didn't love him, and let someone who did love him leave due to neglect. I married my husband while knowing that he had had an unrequited crush on a woman he had known since they were 1-4-yo. He hadn't seen or talked to her in at least 15 years. On our wedding night he cried because now he could never marry her. I should have had the marriage annulled the next day. Instead I wasted almost 10 years with this sniveling child. I was clearly in last place with him. He never tried to assure me that he loved me and couldn't even bring himself to ask me to stay. Don't stay with someone who settled for you. Sending you peace. Good luck up. What did you think about this story? Also, do not forget to stay tuned for new stories and updates. Greetings.